about 2 months ago, I was talking about something on here, and someone responded and said, sounds like you're looking for a support group. And I thought, yes, that's a very good idea. So I went on the Portland Therapy Center website and I pulled up every single group listing that sounded like it might be an interesting fit for me. And I emailed all of those therapists looking for availability. And I think 2 or 3 responded and said, my group is currently running. We don't have space right now. I'll get back in touch with you if something opens up. And tonight, just now, I had a phone call with a therapist who's running a processing group, and did a screening call with her. First, she asked me what I was looking for in a group and what I was hoping for. Then she explained, it was very helpful. She explained that there are 3 types of groups. There's psychoeducation groups, there's support groups, and there's processing groups. And then she walked me through what it means to be in a processing group, where you bring things to the surface and then you have other people who are there and present with you as you're with your emotions and processing your experience. And then she moved into the screening questions. And the first question was if I have a substance abuse disorder, and I said no. And then her second question was if I exhibit the signs. No, that's not the language, but it was something close to, have I exhibited the signs of borderline personality disorder? It was a BPD question. And I answered honestly. And when she asked what that looks like for me, I explained that in 2019, I learned the phrase borderline personality disorder, and I dove into understanding what that means. And I recognized it in my childhood experience. And I most importantly recognized that I was carrying on the patterns of my childhood, and that the last 4 years of my life have been dedicated to unwinding from that. I told her that I have been in CBT-esque therapy since 2012 consistently, and that in 2019, when I learned about PPD, I was working with a therapist who I met with recently and described to me that she has never felt like I meet the criteria for the borderline personality disorder diagnostic criteria, but that when she was treating me, she saw strong borderline traits that were present, including a victim mentality and mindset. She asked me what my experience with my borderline brain, my words, not hers. Nobody else, as far as I know, uses that phrase. And I told her about an experience I had in Peru with someone who I found it very difficult to be around. And because of the things this person was saying, the way this person was grating on something inside of me. It felt really rigid and tight and scary and big. When I was around her, I felt hypervigilance and disassociation. Other than me saying directly to this person that I don't want them to offer me diet or lifestyle advice in response to the things that I share with the group. There was no external conflict with this person. It was internal, inside of me. It was really hard for me to be around them. It was triggering something in me, and I didn't understand how to sit with it or tolerate it. And it, the kind of one-to-one mediation that I would have needed for this like interpersonal, internal thing I'm going through wasn't part of that retreat experience. So I just went through it by myself. And then 2 weekends ago at my second somatic intuitive healer school training, I had a really similar experience where I got paired up with someone to do this somatic healing work where as students we practice being practitioners, and the other students are our practice clients that we work on. And I had been paired with this person for the first module, and it had not been a good experience for them what I had administered in the learning. It created a rift between us, or what felt to me, again, internal experience, like some kind of destabilizing rift between us. And when I asked this person if we could have if they would like to have a mediated conversation where we talked this experience through, that was not a good fit for them. And so I came into the second module feeling that, again, internal experience of conflict where my system is hyper attuned to this rift, this breach, this conflict that has occurred between me and this other person. And then, I'm struggling to focus on the lecture because I can feel their presence, and my brain wants to think constantly about how can we repair this so that this feels better. And if you read the attachment in the DBT literature, this experience makes sense. If your caregiver is emotionally immature, emotionally unstable, emotionally reactive, if your caregiver doesn't understand how to stay with themselves and might shift to where are they going to go at any moment. If your caregiver retreats from you, turns away from you, turns cold to you, you don't know where they are and when are they going to come back, and are they going to be there for me, and are they going to care for me, and can I count on them? It makes sense that our sweet, beautiful little selves would then work very hard to understand, is everything okay between me and this person? Am I okay if they're not okay? What does this mean? Constantly try that reaching and striving. We want to feel safe and connected and seen. Those are the things we want. And some of us are extra sensitive because of our early experiences to trying to get those things, like we're starving for them. I told her all of these things on that screening call, and then she stopped the screening questions, and she let me know that because of the group. It's hard. This is a really tender area for me. You know, my borderline part feels really hurt by this. And she told me that I can't be in the group. And I understand. I have enough wise mind. I understand why. If I'm not the victim, if I'm not the center of this story, then I can see that it's possible that someone in the group had really tender, difficult, traumatic experiences with someone with a borderline brain, and they need space, they need care, they need something different than I would bring to the group. Or maybe people with borderline brains have a pattern of destabilizing in groups like this. And so it's for my own benefit that I not participate. But this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that using the word borderline, that associating myself with that word, with that diagnosis, has been limiting for me. It's there are so many borderline brains out there. There are so many. There are so many people struggling with this. And there are many ways that the mental health scaffolding does not support, just does not hold the space in the way that it's needed.